What's up, everyone? Today I'm recapping episode 1 of Wednesday, aka the pilot episode titled Wednesday's Child is Full of Woe. Now, for those of you coming over from watching my Last of Us recaps, you already know the deal. For those of you who are watching me for the first time, basically I just go through a scene-by-scene recap of the episode and give my thoughts along the way. I'm also not too familiar with the Addams family lore, so I'm experiencing all of this for the first time. Alright, enough of my yapping, let's get into it. We open up in the hallways of Nancy Reagan High School, where we see Wednesday dressed in all black, casually strolling the halls in her chunky boots. The entire student body clears out of her way like Moses parting the Red Sea. We get a first-person narration from Wednesday, essentially shitting on the entire concept of public high schools. Why would you group together a bunch of adolescents in an underfunded place run by people whose dreams were crushed years ago? Alright, so we now know that Wednesday can be pretty fucking mean. Wednesday walks up to this locker and opens the door, and we see that her younger brother, Pugsley, was tied up and stuffed in a locker with an apple in his mouth. I see this kind of bullying in TV shows all the time, and it always makes me laugh because it's so outrageous. Like, that's a perfectly fucking good apple they just wasted. Anyways, Wednesday wants names, but Pugsley just doesn't know who they were. Wednesday says emotion equals weakness, and as she's untying Pugsley, she gets a flashback vision type of thing where she sees the jocks harassing Pugsley and stuffing him in the locker. I just want to say, I know they always make the jocks the bullies in these shows, but don't sleep on those fucking theater kids, man. If we're going off of stereotypes, the theater kids are going to be smarter than the jocks, right? And they can be just as mean and way more eloquent. I'm just trying to offer another view. Anyways, as Wednesday comes out of her vision, we learn that these visions have recently been coming on without warning and feel like electroshock therapy to her. Armed with the knowledge from her vision, Wednesday heads out for revenge. Pugsley asks what she's going to do, and she says, "What I do best." Alright, so I'm already kind of getting bought into this show. Give me some more. We then cut to the jocks playing water polo. Alright, so you're telling me that the jock bullies at this school were the water polo players, not the football players, or the karate kids? Come on, man, I'm not buying it. I've only met one water polo player in my life, and he was a really nice guy. As the jocks are frolicking in the water, Wednesday pulls up. All of the jocks turn around and see her, and one of the jocks calls her a freak. Not a great idea, man. Wednesday says the only person who gets to torture her brother is her, and she drops 2 bags of piranhas into the pool. Holy fucking hell, it's off to the races. The jocks swim as fast as they can to get out of the pool, and all of them make it out but one. I think it was the one who called her a freak. We're barely 3 minutes into the season, and Wednesday is already performing attempted murder. Great fucking start. I love it. We then cut right into the intro trailer, which I thought was pretty cool. Lots of clock imagery, graveyards, spiders, spooky stuff. There's this one clip of a teddy bear getting beheaded. Nice! Overall, pretty solid. I don't have that strong of an opinion on it, to be honest. Like, I feel like I'm pretty easy to please with that regard. So the intro ends, and we get this skycam view of the Addams family car driving along this quiet highway. We cut to the inside, and we see Wednesday staring coldly at her parents, Morticia and Gomez Addams, who are played by Catherine Zeta-Jones and Louise Guzman, respectively. Her parents are just staring deeply into each other's eyes and singing and doing lovey-dovey couple shit. Wednesday is naturally disgusted by this, and quite frankly, I can't blame her. Bleach my eyes if I ever see my parents doing that shit. Birds are just flying into the car and dying, which is pretty chill, I guess. Wednesday's parents damn near start making out when Morticia asks Wednesday how long she's going to keep giving them the cold shoulder for. Wednesday tells the driver, Lurch, to remind her parents that she's no longer speaking to them. Gomez tells Wednesday she's going to love Nevermore. So Wednesday is mad at her parents for sending her to Nevermore. Both of Wednesday's parents actually went to Nevermore and met there and fell in love. We learned that Wednesday's mom, Morticia, was quite the legend at Nevermore, basically crushing everything and becoming captain of the fencing team, queen of the dark prom, president of the Seance Society, just elite shit all around. I understand why it would annoy Wednesday. Morticia insists that Wednesday will be around people who understand her, and maybe she can even make friends. As Morticia and Gomez are about to make out again, Wednesday stops them by saying that they're making her nauseous. Once again, I can't blame her. We learn that Wednesday is being sent to Nevermore because she got expelled from her former high school. Remember the jock who didn't make it out of the pool in time? Well, the family was going to file attempted murder charges. Wednesday feels zero remorse. In fact, she seems to feel guilty about not actually getting the job done and murdering him successfully. Good fucking lord. As the Addams car nears Nevermore, we see another car coming from the opposite way. It stops right at the sign that says that you're getting close to Nevermore Academy. The truck is presumably driven by a woman named Martha who sells jams and jellies. I'm putting in this analytical work for y'all right now. Thank me later. A man gets out of the truck as Martha cautions the man against getting out in this area. Martha says that even though the hiking trails here look pretty, they are close to Nevermore, which is dangerous because it's a school for outcasts. The man knows about Nevermore and doesn't seem afraid of outcasts. He says his summer camp counselor was a werewolf who was a great guy. Martha says these outcasts will eventually rip his throat out and gives him a scary stare. The man looks a little rattled, but he keeps heading into the trail regardless. The man then takes a break from hiking and sits on a log to take a drink and rest. The woods all of a sudden get very eerie and spooky, and we hear the snarling and heavy breathing of a monster. We get a first-person view from the monster's perspective as it charges the man and rips him to shreds. Should have listened to Martha, man. Should have fucking listened. We now see the Addams family vehicle pulling into Nevermore Academy. The building is this massive Gothic-style mansion in the middle of nowhere. I really like the aesthetic. We then see Wednesday and her parents meeting with the principal, Principal Weems, who also happen to be roommates with Morticia. We learn that Wednesday's name comes from a line from Morticia's favorite nursery rhyme, Wednesday's child is full of woe, which also happens to be the title of this episode. Weems starts going through Wednesday's educational history, 8 schools in 5 years. This girl needs juvenile hall, man, honestly. Principal Weems mentions that Nevermore typically doesn't accept students midterm, but she's spoken to the board and they're gonna make exceptions because Wednesday has perfect grades and she's a legacy. Of course, Wednesday just happens to be a goddamn genius, and it's about who you know in life, not what you know. Morticia mentions that Wednesday also has court-ordered therapy sessions due to the unfortunate piranha incident, and Weems says that the school has a relationship with a therapist in Jericho, which is the closest town to Nevermore. Wednesday can meet with her twice per week. Weems is assigning Wednesday to live in Ophelia Hall, which is her mother's old dorm. Wednesday continues to get more pissed off. So now Principal Weems takes Wednesday to Ophelia Hall, where she's going to see her room for the first time and meet her roommate Enid Sinclair. Yo, I fucking love Enid. Her energy is amazing. She's this super positive, colorful, bright, bubbly person, which is such a funny contrast to Wednesday. Enid's side of the room is super colorful and decorated. We'll see what Wednesday decides to do with her side. Principal Weems tells Enid to give Wednesday a tour of the school and also bring her to the registrar's office to pick up her school uniform and a schedule. Wednesday begrudgingly heads out with Enid. As the two of them walk through the halls, Enid gives us a breakdown of Nevermore, which was founded in 1791 for outcasts, freaks, and monsters. Wednesday literally gives zero fucks and tells Enid she plans on escaping soon. Enid asks why, as we see a picture of Morticia and her fencing team back in the day. Of course, it's in the school's trophy cabinet. Wednesday says her parents have been looking for any excuse to send her here, and it's all part of some elaborate plan to make her more like them. Enid is like, okay, cool, I guess. Oh, by the way, did you kill a kid at your old school? Because that's the rumor that's swirling around. Wednesday fucks with Enid a bit and says she killed 2 kids, not 1. As the two walk through the Nevermore courtyard, which is in the shape of a pentagon, Enid breaks down the social scene. The 4 main cliques are the Fangs, Furs, Stoners, and Scales. Fangs are the vampires. And speaking of which, I happen to know a vampire who'd like to hang with the Fangs. Alright, some of y'all might be too young to get the reference, but go watch Blade. Anyways, the Furs are the werewolves, which Enid happens to be. Every full moon they howl and get freaky and shit. The Scales are sirens, which in Greek mythology represented human-like beings with alluring voices that would lure sailors onto rocks, so they're obviously very naturally manipulative. We learned that one of the sirens, Bianca Barkley, is the most popular girl in school. She used to date the resident tortured artist Xavier Thorpe, but they broke up at the beginning of the semester. Alright, so basically the hot girl and the hot guy of the school are these two. Word. Enid mentions that she has a vlog for Nevermore gossip, but is then interrupted by a boy named Ajax. Ajax tells Enid that there's a rumor going around saying that her new roommate eats human flesh, unaware that Wednesday is right there. Wednesday then plays along with the rumor, saying that she prefers to fillet the flesh and then feed it to her pets. Enid then introduces Wednesday to Ajax, and he makes some dumb comment about Wednesday's black and white aesthetic. Enid shoos Ajax away, and we learn that he's a Gorgon, aka part of the Stoners, which is the 4th big clique at Nevermore. So basically the Gorgons are Medusas. Enid encourages Wednesday to get on social media, but obviously Wednesday destroys the concept of social media in general, which kind of hurt my feelings given the fact that I make content. But hey, you know what? It doesn't really matter. After the tour, Wednesday walks outside to say goodbye to her parents and brother. She tells her brother that he's weak as fuck as he hugs her goodbye. It's so funny how much her family loves her and just Wednesday's disgusted reactions to these displays of affection. I love this dynamic. Morticia then speaks with Wednesday in private and says she knows Wednesday wants to run away. She's alerted all family members to notify her if Wednesday arrives on their doorstep. Wednesday says she'll escape and they'll never hear from her again. Morticia believes that Wednesday will grow to love Nevermore. She then gifts Wednesday an obsidian pendant with the initials of their names. Wednesday says she'll never be like Morticia. She doesn't want to fall in love and start a family and be a housewife. This comment hurts Morticia greatly, but she shakes it off. Morticia then tells Wednesday they'll call her after the first week, and then she gets in the car and the rest of the family drives off. As they're driving off, Gomez mentions that Wednesday won't be alone, and he opens this hatch in the car, and out plops this hand that starts scuttling towards Nevermore. As I mentioned at the beginning, I don't know shit about the Addams family, so all of this will be a learning experience for me as well, because I don't know what the fuck that hand is. We now cut to the woods where we see the bloody backpack and remains of the hiker from earlier. Should have listened to Martha. He got completely torn to shreds. There's a sheriff being briefed on the scene by another cop. Apparently there were 2 similar attacks last week. The sheriff tells the other cop to make sure no more hikers are allowed in the woods and to tell the press that these are just bear attacks. Yeah, maybe fucking cocaine bear. Anyways, they both know it's bullshit, but the sheriff says he has no other choice. He believes that Nevermore has something to do with the attacks and he wants to investigate further. We then cut to Wednesday in Enid's dorm room, which by the way might be the dopest room in Nevermore. They have this room at the top of the tower with this sick ass stained glass door that leads to an outdoor balcony. Like what? Anyways, we see that Wednesday has split the room between her and Enid equally, and her aesthetic favors heavy doses of black followed by more black. Enid isn't happy about this, but Wednesday shushes her because it's her writing time. She devotes an hour a day to her novel. Wednesday then gets real mean and she shits on Enid's vlog, calling her followers imbeciles. Enid has apparently been gossiping about Wednesday in her vlog, and Wednesday doesn't appreciate it. She also doesn't know what emojis are, which is pretty funny. Enid starts bumping music in protest, which leads Wednesday to walk up to her. Enid then shows off her claws and threatens to use them on Wednesday. A fight's about to break out when all of a sudden a woman walks in, straight up looking like Velma from Scooby-Doo. Her name is Miss Thornhill, and she's the dorm mom. Miss Thornhill has brought a plant for Wednesday as a welcome gift, which she does to every single girl in the dorm. And the flower she chose for Wednesday was the Black Dahlia, which is named after Wednesday's favorite unsolved murder. We get an overview of the dorm rules. Lights out at 10 p.m., no loud music, and of course, no boys allowed. There are passes to the nearby town of Jericho, which is about 25 minutes walking distance. The locals don't like the kids from Nevermore, so Miss Thornhill instructs them to be on their best behavior when visiting Jericho. We now cut to fencing class at Nevermore, where the popular girl Bianca Barkley just kicks this kid Rowan's ass. Bianca asks for some real competition, and Wednesday pulls up to challenge her. The two of them exchange a few one-liner insults, and then it's time to fight. Round 1 is hard fought, but Wednesday takes the W. I gotta say, I don't know much about fencing, but it looks like both of these girls are on a very high level. Bianca evens it up in round 2. For round 3, Wednesday suggests something crazy. She wants to do military challenge, which means no masks, no tips on the swords for protection. Whoever draws first blood wins. Wild stuff. The two of them engage in a masterful duel, but Bianca ends up winning, and she says, "Your face finally got that splash of color it so desperately needed." Whoo! What a burn. So Wednesday is getting her cut treated at the infirmary when Rowan, the kid Bianca destroyed from earlier, introduces himself. Rowan says he doesn't fit in amongst the outcasts and he knows how Wednesday feels. Wednesday glances at him like he's fucking dirt and walks away. As she leaves the infirmary, we see the hand spying on her from behind the water cooler. Wednesday is walking outside the courtyard when one of the gargoyles almost falls on her. She's saved by the tortured artist Xavier, but she's knocked unconscious by the hit. She wakes up in the infirmary once again with Xavier next to her. Wednesday wonders how Xavier just happened to be there in time to save her. It seems a little bit fishy, and Xavier says it was just an instinct. She's not buying it because obviously she isn't a dumbass. Xavier says he was merely returning the favor by saving Wednesday's life. Apparently they met when they were younger, but Wednesday doesn't quite remember. Xavier's godmother was friends with Wednesday's grandmother back in the day. Back then, the two of them used to run around swindling rich guys. I feel like there's a song about this. She take my money, now I'm in need. Anyways, it was Xavier's godmother's funeral, and Wednesday and Xavier were playing hide and seek, and Xavier decided to hide in his godmother's casket. Bad idea. He got stuck in the casket as it was headed to the crematorium, and he would have died had Wednesday not hit the red stop button to save Xavier. So we get a little bit of the backstory between those two. We now cut to Wednesday working on her novel when she hears a noise and she goes to her bed to check it out. She catches the hand that's been spying on her, and we find out that the hand's name is Thing. Apparently, Thing's hand lotion gave him away. Thing surrenders to Wednesday without a fight. It shows how ruthless Wednesday can be. Wednesday makes Thing pledge his loyalty to Wednesday, and he does, and now he agrees to basically work for her and be her spy. We now cut to our first look at the nearby town of Jericho, where Principal Weems is dropping Wednesday off for her scheduled therapy session with Dr. Kinbot. Weems chaperones Wednesday because she knows that she's planning on running away. This girl's a nightmare. Wednesday meets with Dr. Kinbot. Kinbot is trying to bond with Wednesday and get her to talk, but Wednesday isn't the easiest client to handle. Wednesday shows no remorse for what happened to the jock that lost a testicle. In fact, she's happy that he can no longer procreate. So we actually find out that the kid lost a testicle. God damn. Is Wednesday wrong? Probably not. Bullying isn't cool, but still, god damn. Kinbot says she knows that Wednesday has written 3 novels about this teenage girl detective named Viper de la Muerte. Viper mirrors a lot of Wednesday's traits. Wednesday has had trouble getting her works published because they are too morbid, and obviously she doesn't respond well to criticism. Kinbot has read the novels and finds the relationship between Viper and her mother, Dominica, very interesting. Once again, this obviously mimics Wednesday's real-life complicated relationship with her mother. Wednesday obviously doesn't want to discuss any of this shit and asks to go to the bathroom. Kinbot is a fucking rookie, man. You can't let her go to the bathroom unattended. In the bathroom, we see that Wednesday has also brought along Thing. She gets a nail file from Thing and easily escapes through the window, scales down a drainage pipe, and as she's crossing the street trying to elude Principal Weems, she runs into a man carrying a crate of apples. This then triggers a vision where Wednesday sees the man texting while driving and suffering from a terrible car accident. The man then calls Wednesday a weirdo, and that's that. We cut to the inside of the Weathervane Cafe and Bakery, which is a local coffee shop in Jericho, where Wednesday is currently at to try to get some of that good old espresso in her system. However, the machine is broken. The boy working the counter is having trouble fixing the espresso machine because the instructions are in Italian. After shitting on the existence of people who drink drip coffee, which is myself included, Wednesday then offers to fix the machine because she can read Italian, and she reads the manual and helps the boy fix the machine. We learn that the boy's name is Tyler, and in exchange for fixing the machine, Tyler offers to drive Wednesday to the nearby train station in Burlington. Meanwhile, Weems and Dr. Kinbot realize that Wednesday has escaped. A little bit too easy for her, in my opinion. Wednesday is chilling at the Weathervane, waiting for Tyler to get off of his shift so he can give her a ride. We get 3 teenage boys dressed as fucking pilgrims walking into the coffee shop. They immediately approach Wednesday and try to intimidate her, and it doesn't work. We find out that the boys work at the nearby Pilgrim World, which is a theme park devoted to pilgrims, which according to Wednesday were religious zealots who committed mass genocide. She's not wrong. Anyways, one of the boys' dads owns Pilgrim World, and he takes offense to Wednesday calling it stupid. Tyler sees the confrontation happening and tries to step in. Wednesday can obviously handle herself. There's a stare down, and then a fight breaks out. So you're telling me these 3 dudes are just going to try and jump a girl in the coffee shop? What the fuck is going on in Jericho, man? Wednesday apparently has a black belt in karate because she disposes of these dudes very easily. The sheriff from earlier walks in, and we find out that his name is Sheriff Galpin, and he's actually Tyler's dad. Sheriff Galpin sees the boys mangled on the floor and is surprised that Wednesday took them down solo. Weems then pulls up into the coffee shop and is about to bring Wednesday back to the school when Galpin finds out that Wednesday is part of the Addams family and that Gomez is her father. Galpin doesn't like the Addams family because he believes that Wednesday's dad, Gomez, is responsible for murder. On the drive back to Nevermore, Wednesday asks about what Sheriff Galpin meant when he was talking about Wednesday's father, and Weems simply deflects the question. We see an accident in the middle of the road, and Wednesday immediately knows what happened because of her previous vision. That same farmer carrying the apple crates has broken his neck. The accident went down just like in Wednesday's vision. Weems is curious as to why Wednesday knew exactly what happened, but Wednesday says nothing. We then see Wednesday putting on a stunning showcase of painted black on the balcony of her dorm room. I used to crush this song back in Guitar Hero. Meanwhile, we see Rowan walking into this library and using telekinesis to grab a book from the shelf. This motherfucker has telekinesis as a power? Bro, everyone needs to start being nice to him immediately because we know what can happen with telekinesis. Rowan flips through the pages of the book and tears out this one page with a girl who looks like Wednesday. We also see shots of Tyler going through some old police files and searching up Gomez Addams' file. We also see Sheriff Galpin cracking open a beer as he looks at his bulletin board to try and solve the case of the monster murders. Local tortured artist Xavier Thorpe is painting when he hears Wednesday's rendition. Miss Thornhill is doing plant stuff when she hears it. Principal Weems is in her office doing administrative stuff when she hears it. All of them are basically like, God damn, this girl has some serious talent. Complete malcontent, but damn, she's got the it factor. As Wednesday finishes her performance, Enid walks in. Wednesday introduces Enid to Thing, and we learn that nobody really knows what happened to the rest of Thing's body. Wednesday asks Enid why she isn't wolfing out because it's a full moon. Enid confesses that she hasn't hit wolf puberty yet, so she can't turn into a werewolf. Her mom has taken her to many specialists, but nobody can pinpoint the issue. If Enid doesn't fully blossom into a werewolf, then she'll be rejected by her pack and be unable to find a mate. Wednesday doesn't do a great job of comforting Enid. She does share the only time she's ever cried. She was 6 years old and it was the week after Halloween. She was taking her pet scorpion, Nero, out for an afternoon stroll when a few boys ambushed her and held her down while they ran over Nero with a bike. Damn, man, that is fucking gruesome. Wednesday buried Nero and cried her ass off. And to Wednesday, ever since that moment, tears don't fix anything, so she vowed to never cry again. Okay, I mean, fair enough, man, fair enough. Wednesday tells Enid that she'll give her room back if Enid lets her use the computer. We then see Thing pull up on Tyler, who is naturally very freaked out. Even by Nevermore standards, a separate hand with scars walking around is quite frightening. Tyler tries to baseball bat Thing, but he misses and Thing disarms him. Thing sends a message telling Tyler to call Wednesday, which he does. Tyler calls Wednesday and they start talking, and Wednesday tells Tyler that the Harvest Festival is this weekend and she's going to use that as cover to escape. She'll make it worthwhile for Tyler and he agrees to help her out. We're now at the Harvest Festival where there's a good old-fashioned nighttime carnival going on. Tyler is there and his dad gives him a 12:30 curfew. Principal Weems is keeping a strict eye on Wednesday as well. Wednesday is destroying the carnival games and damn near bankrupting the owners. Xavier is talking to Wednesday when Tyler pulls up. Clearly going to be some jealousy there. Wednesday tells Tyler to meet her behind the parking lot when the fireworks start. She needs to find a way to lose Weems. She gets the dude running the booth to give Weems the stuffed panda, and Wednesday quickly disappears. As she meets up with Tyler, he hands her the police file on Gomez Addams. However, before they can leave, the thugs from Pilgrim World show up with bats. Bro, I don't get this. Like, are they planning on fucking killing her? Like, what the hell is going on, man? Does anyone think about consequences in the show or in this town? Wednesday and Tyler make a run for it, but Wednesday bumps into Rowan, and immediately this triggers another vision where Wednesday sees Rowan being slaughtered and screaming for his life. Wednesday then sees Rowan running into the woods, and she tries to chase after him to save him. Wednesday finally catches up to Rowan and tries to warn him that he's in danger. Rowan laughs it off and immediately uses telekinesis to pin her to the tree. Once again, I'm sorry, man. This dude is easily the most powerful motherfucker at Nevermore. You gotta start being nicer to him. Rowan says he has to kill Wednesday to save everyone else from her. The gargoyle falling was Rowan's doing. Rowan believes that the picture he ripped from the book predicts Wednesday as the cause of Nevermore's destruction. Rowan's mother was a student at Nevermore 25 years ago, and she drew that picture. She was a seer, and before she died, she told Rowan that it was his destiny to stop this girl if she ever came to Nevermore. As Rowan is about to force choke Wednesday to death, the same monster from earlier comes out of nowhere and slices Rowan into tiny little pieces. It looks at Wednesday and then runs away. Wednesday runs over to check on Rowan, who is now dead as fuck. Wednesday takes the picture from the book. We now see Wednesday in her room poring over her father's police file, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. She communicates to her parents via crystal ball, and she doesn't tell them any meaningful details about her first week at Nevermore. She does tell Morticia that she thinks that she's going to love it here, and the episode ends. Wow, that's it for the pilot of Wednesday. I didn't know what to expect coming in, but I really like it so far. It feels like a crazy mix between Stranger Things and Harry Potter, and I fuck with it. Thanks for watching, y'all, and I'll be back with episode 2, so stay tuned.